Good evening, everyone. Good to see you again. We are starting a little bit later than I planned, but oh well, that's how it goes. Max, I'm gonna go ahead and sign in briefly so you can give me the thing. So, what that's gonna mean is I am going to turn down the desktop volume for a minute so we don't have a lot of shenanigans going on. So, I know it will be deathly quiet for a moment. I have no idea, Max. I mean, unless you can put it in my storage, just sneak it in there when I'm not paying attention. I know Diablo has a mailing feature for other players, at least Diablo 3 did. And my game. My game is stuck in launching mode. I'm feeling alright, dear. Not the best, not the worst. Reaper, welcome in. Runia, welcome in. Happy birthday. I hope you do something special for it. Sleep and clean my room. Well, that's not a very fun birthday, except for the sleeping part. Max, that's okay. You can keep your clothes. Mommy doesn't need your clothes. Merry Birthmas. Love that. Don't make me come over there and glue all the clothes on you. I think those are the best kind of clothes. That way they keep you warm, but they're not so complicated. So you have a little while to go until your birthday, but be sure to remind me and I'll give you a happy birthday wish. I do have desktop audio off for a second here because I am trying to boot up another game and it is being a pain and I don't want to have the audio mixing because I'm very sensitive to that. I don't know about anyone else, but that drives me insane, having more than one audio input at the same time. Oh, very nice. Okay, Max. I'm in. You're gonna have to tell me how this whole trading thing works. I'm so glad I'm able to do that. It's the least I can do. Even though I'm technically in dark mode, I do want to make sure people feel loved. It's a very cruel world out there. The least you can do is be sort of kind. Now, being kind doesn't mean you put up with bullshit. Being kind means that you know there's bullshit out there, but you choose to refrain from judging someone right off the bat. I hope it was good gossip. I hope it wasn't another one of those people who are like, oh, Tiffy, she's so untrustworthy. She's so unsafe to be around. I am not in online mode. I'm in offline mode. But I believe I can change that. It's alright. I think I can change it. Just give me a sec. Alright, we should be able to resolve this quickly enough. Let me just load in again and choose online this time and see if it will let me do things. I'm doing my best to take care of myself and drinking as much water as I can. Good job. Hydration is very important. So, Max, my game is being a pain in the ass right now, so I might have to get that item from you later. Because every time I keep trying to load in, it's like, no. So, we might just have to do that a bit later when it's deciding to play nicely. Is that alright with you? I need energy or sleep. Maybe go get some coffee. But luckily, I have until next Sunday off because Monday I go back to work. Well, get all the rest you can. Well, shit. I guess that's the way the magic item unattunes. Go figure. I choose offline and then that bars me from doing any trading, whatever. 2 days straight. Yeah, that sounds about like what I've been doing. It's called work your ass off. and or be depressed and or work your ass off and be depressed and have no desire to deal with people, so you sleep so you don't have to talk with them. Sounds like what I've been doing. Like I said, I'll save an absurd amount of items for you in Grim Dawn should you choose to play that. I'm sure I will play it at some point because I think I'm gonna like the vibes. Well then, I think you would be in some good company, Pigeon. Just make sure your exhaustion levels don't go beyond 5 and towards 6. Otherwise, you'll die, and we don't want that. Have a good night, Max. I'll teach you how to use rainbow filters so your eye doesn't bleed. Alrighty. Too much color. Ew. And whatever you do, don't compensate by having too many energy drinks or coffee that winds up destroying your intestines. I found out that the hard way because mine are completely destroyed. Well, yes, don't do that. That's not good. Yeah, you don't want to be exhausted to death. Unless you have a death wish, then maybe. But not even Dark Mommy's going to recommend that. Alright, chat? So behave. Don't be a workaholic. Welcome in, General. Alright, so another quick announcement. I'm gonna try not to stream past midnight tonight because I actually do have some schoolwork I still need to wrap up. So in the interest of having time to wrap that up, tonight's stream won't be as long, but hopefully we will have some fun nonetheless. That is a lot of caffeine. Reaper, be careful. Yes. I was planning on doing that for sure. You know, gotta get my pen out and exercise it every once in a while, otherwise it gets dry and crusty, and nobody likes a dry and crusty pen. Right, chat? Thank you. I will be getting to it after stream so that we can hang out and have a decently good time. So yeah, it does mean that this is going to be a little bit shorter. We'll probably stream until around 12:30. And then I gotta go be a good little scholar and go do my homework. Indeed. The penis is mightier than the sword. No! No, no, no! I do have a pretty big penis. I'm just gonna say. Anyway, we will get to some writing, and I think with that, let's go ahead and switch gears to writing, shall we? Well, you do know that a pen is handy in many different ways. Yes. I am very aware of the multifaceted properties. We haven't even started, and already chat is just uncontrollable in their lewdness. You are fine. You are fine. Yes, I did call you delinquents and degenerates. So what else do I expect? Alright, I think we can switch to some writing so we can make some good use. It's almost as if we're following a tiefling mom, not demon, tiefling. If you must, mommy bust. Because a demon would imply I might come to your room and just bite your head off and crunch on it like a Dorito. I don't think you'd want that. Anyways. I mean, I want to be multifaceted. I don't just want to be like stuck. You know, I do want to be redeemed. I do want to exit this dimension at some point, return to the material realm, at least for a little while. I don't think. Of course, we like Doritos. Demons don't, but I like some good, hellishly delicious snacks. Very crunchy. Indeed. Especially in D&D. At least with devils, you can make a deal. With demons, they don't give a fuck. They're just like, no. I believe so. And yes, now that you mention it, I have said that, Charlie is the character I identify with most. Still do. I have a lot. I feel like. Because, you know, with all the goals that I started out in the VTuber community with, I feel like I resonate very much with her. And I feel like I often have to struggle between my good nature and some other parts of my nature which are not always good. Charlie cosplay? Yes. Someday, that is one of the things I'm thinking about having my artist make for me. That might be an October thing. I don't know. We'll see. You know, I should get one of those emotes, but instead of chat, it's just Kali. Just Kali bongo drums. Or I should make my chat look like an honorary tiefling and they're just happy slappies. Alright, but I think we should get to some writing now. Well, I might still be in the creative mood. Let's do the writing. The wind is howling louder than I usually do right now. Oh my goodness. I ran into a Charlie cosplayer a few years ago. She gave me a flyer for a hotel because I was dressed as a villain character. Very nice. Okay, so before we get started, a few ground rules. When I'm writing, I'm super duper focused. So, what that means is I might be a little bit delayed in responding to chat. Also, you all are free to have conversations in chat while I'm writing, but please make sure to keep them civil for all the reasons we discussed last night. If you have questions for me about my writing process, you may ask them. I ask that you highlight the message, and I will get to it when I'm at the nearest sort of break, just so that I can make some decent progress in between. Are we clear on those? If we are, then say yes, mistress, in the chat.
I'm attacking the darkness.
Very good. There should be some music playing. Can you not hear it? Oh. It says it should be working. Hold on, let me adjust some things. Okay, how about now? Too loud? No, it's not max, because I don't want to be like having it too loud and obnoxious. It's like midway. Better? Or you want more? Okay, I'm gonna count this as okay, since I'm seeing there's a lot of people that say it's good in chat, so we'll just leave it at that. Good. I'm glad everybody's comfy. If you need to get up at all during anything, feel free. New line. When I emerged on the other side of the new line mirror, I felt a combination of new line woozy, new line, and empowered, new line. My ghosts followed me through the mirror, though as they made the transition, new line from shadow, new line, into material, new line, from darkness, new line, into new line, light, correct, into, correct, lights, light, correct, in some, into, comma, they changed, new line, from looking like physical, new line, chilly outlines, correct, chilly, new line, to wispy, correct, to wispy. Yes, I did. I decided to lighten up just a little. Alright, General, that's fine. Enjoy thy Zelda. Let me get you the link. That's what I currently have on right now, in case any of you want to know what it is, or listen along, or have it as part of your own playlists. We were listening to Ballad in D minor. And now the song we are listening to is called Three Ravens. Smoke-like figures, comma, barely, new line, outlined, new line, against, new line, the more colorful, comma, more physical, new line, nature of this dimension, period, new line. New line. I decided to transfer from my new line barely glowing disc, new line, to the extra mage hands, new line, available to me due to my mother's new line gift, comma, new line, using them like extra feet, comma, or new line, a pair of canes, comma, I moved, correct, canes, comma, new line, my feet barely touching the ground, new line, toward my bed, period, new line, Kali slept in the bed I would have shared with him, new line, but instead Cap Whimsy was cuddled up there in the crook, new line, of his arm, comma, new line, despite feeling, new line, delicate and, new line, a little faint, open parenthesis, I guessed this was in response to the change in density between shadow, no space fill, and here, close parenthesis, new line. I smiled, comma, watching New line, the two of them, period. New line, despite his tendency to be moody. New line, and sometimes demanding, comma. New line, the tenderness I saw on his face, comma, and the way he, new line, let Cap Whimsy snuggle up to him, filled me with warmth, period. New line. New line. This is what I'm fighting, new line, for, period. This right here, period. Correct, for. Correct, for. This preciousness, period. New line. I'm sure people will say I did it for my own new line ego, my own new line pride. If they write stories about it later, comma, but new line, I'm fighting for this, period. I'm fighting for my husband, new line, to rest peacefully, new line. And my future children to know, new line, a sweet dream, new line, is, period. New line, new line. I brought myself to sit on the edge, new line, of the bed, comma, trying not to wake him, comma, hoping that, new line, the threads of shadow no space fell, were not noticeable on me, new line. I pulled the covers over, comma, enjoying his warmth, period, new line. I hadn't realized until, new line, now, the numbness that had crept into my body, new line. But it faded quickly, comma, as I felt him reach out unconsciously, new line, and flop his arm around my midsection, period, new line. New line. For a moment, comma, I feared he might feel a change, new line, in me, comma, or sense the spirits I had looming above the bed, new line. But he didn't seem troubled by it at all, comma, new line. And in that moment, comma, I had an idea, period, correct, did not, in that, new line, since I had to be, open quote, out of my body, close quote. This might be the best place, new line, to do my work, comma, but then, as all bladders do, comma, new line, right as I was about to get comfortable, comma, new line, Mother Nature put in a call I couldn't ignore, period, new line. New line, I should have known. Period. In shadow, no space fill. New line. I wouldn't feel the demands of my body in the same way. New line. But now that I was back in the material plane, comma. New line. Several hours worth of sensation began to flood in. Period. New line. Quickly, comma, I got back up out of bed, comma, bemoaning. New line. My female body and the shortage of liquid storage space. Period. New line. I used my extra set of mage hands to quickly lift off the bed and make my way, new line, to the small, comma, private bathroom. New line. New line. My spirit familiars followed, comma, briefly reminding me of eager, new line, shrouded puppy dogs. Period. New line. Even though they looked nothing like dogs, comma, they're correct there. Choose one. New line. Demeanor struck me as excitable and eager. New line. And that's when I remembered that they were still expecting, new line, something to do, comma, something other than, new line, following me around everywhere. Period. New line. New line. I plan to use them to help me do all the other things that technically this disc helps me with, but sometimes even this disc is not the most effective thing to use. It has a very difficult time fitting into small little doorways. When you're too comfy in bed, but you have to get up because you can't sleep because you gotta pee, like, damn, pretty much. I hate that. That's the thing I hate the most. I'm just like, I'm so comfy. And then my brain's like, yes, and now you have to pee. How Chad is getting off on the pot while you're also while offing your rival also on the pot. We're a bunch of potheads. Shuffled my way over. Shuffled my way over to the small doorway, comma, new line, thankful for my mother apostrophe's heirloom, period. New line, if I had only my disc to use, comma, there would be no way, new line, I would be getting in this bathroom, unless I, new line, resigned myself, new line, to magically buzz correct buys. Sawing through it, because my disc had to keep spinning to move, period. New line. Well, at least this way when I say I had some business to take care of, and I say I had some royal business to take care of on the porcelain throne, I'm not joking. Very important business, state level business. New line. Using a combination of my tail and these extra mage hands, I propped myself up, new line, long enough to open the new line door, slip myself inside, close and lock it, before making the awkward new line at shambling / floating, correct it, choose 4, scratch that, maneuver over to the toilet, period. Thankfully, new line, there was an overhanging lantern, new line, to be turned on, so I did, period. New line. New line. My familiars followed. New line. With no problem, new line, their bodies moving through the solid, new line, wood of the door, as if it were nothing, period. Yes, so here's the thing. I can work some magic so that the fieriness of the disc does not always do damage. So this is something I can do, but typically, at least of late, I've been keeping it to where it is kind of dangerous, just so that people know they can't just run up to me and do whatever they like. But yes, there are some magical things I'm able to do to basically just say, we're not gonna be like deadly with it. Yes, they would be. So again, I believe because I can put the razor quality on my disc when I need to. I also have some magic abilities to basically say, okay, we're gonna soften that up so that it basically just feels like a smooth, kind of rounded edge thing just kind of underneath you. I suppose something like mage armor would also account for that. Like I can just, give myself a little bit more protection in case. Correct word. New line. As I positioned myself on the toilet seat. New line after getting down my essentials. New line. I began thinking about new line what to do next, comma, and how to get new line an edge on this situation. New line where I was unable to new line move about freely in my own kingdom. New line and the Genasi usurper still needed new line to be dealt with, period. New line. As I sat thinking, new line, and relieving the physical pressure, new line, in my bladder, comma, I was able to think more clearly, new line, and that's when I had an idea, period, new line, unconventional, comma, but might work to my favor, period. Correct favorite. New line. There was one place in this kingdom that no one, new line, would be expecting anyone to move through, comma, let alone an new line attack to come from, colon, new line, the sewers, period. New line, I smiled, comma, listening to the faint chime and splash. New line, in the porcelain bowl underneath me, period. New line. No one would expect that, period. No one has defenses against new line that, period. New line. If you're going to the bathroom, comma, you're not expecting someone to attack you, period. New line. And even if you are, new line, you're not expecting it from underneath you, period. New line. New line. I shifted slightly, comma, making sure I got myself dry, comma, and new line, to give my familiars room to move, comma, for the idea, new line, I was ready to put in new line action, period. New line. There's smoke hyphen like silhouettes shivered in anticipation. New line, as if they knew what I was about to ask them, comma, and were waiting for me. New line, to say the word, period. Yes, why would I care if my familiars see me going to do my business? They're dead. They're also my familiars. It's like having a puppy in the bathroom with you. At least if you need something, they're there to help. And besides, I have spent so much of my life being in restrooms with people staring at me while I'm doing my business, I am kind of desensitized to it. So I guess I don't even really think about it being invasive. I'm just used to it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. Maybe that's just a product of my life experience. I don't know. I guess it depends. I guess I don't mind because they are dead. I'm gonna just need to get an emote like that, aren't I? I'm just gonna need to get a Royal Throne emote that you all can just spam during bathroom breaks. Because you all know what I'm doing. It's not like you don't know. I mean, technically he does. I mean, because he's in there to help, so it's kind of unavoidable. Again, like I said, I probably just don't think about it because I've never really had any other choice. New line. New line. Open quote. All right, comma, ghouls. Comma, close quote. I said, comma, doing my best to remember I was supposed to command them. New line. Not. Ask them for a favor, period. Open quote. Here's the job I have for you, period. I want you to go through this toilet, comma, go through the sewers, comma, new line. And I want you to try to find the pipe or series of pipes, new line, that leads to this individual, period, close quote. New line. As I said this, comma, I did my best to conjure the image, comma, feeling. New line. I mean, let's just be real. This is a poem-like object, is what we're working on. Yes, very much like a butler with his Ojo-sama. He is a butler. Emphasis on butt sometimes, right, Collie? But that's okay, because you have a pretty sexy butt, so I don't mind. Will accept. Good. You better. You will accept whatever name I give you. You are now Her Majesty's dog. Great manga, by the way. It's a little old, though, but it's one of my favorites. Woof. Kali the combat butler. Yes. Please, that would be amazing. Just, take your broom, take various cutlery, take other items. Fight my battles for me. Hayate was a good manga. I think it's still going, at least in this part of the realm. I think it still has volumes being released. After all this many years, that's unbelievable. Of that one, period, my rival, period, my enemy, period. New line, I imagined her face and voice, comma, to the point. New line, that had made my blood, new line, boil, period. New line, I then held my fingertips to my temple, comma, drawing out. New line, the images and the feelings. New line, into a glowing, comma, pearlescent. New line, strand of thought, period. I handed it. New line, to what I felt was the strongest, comma, most. New line, dominant. Correct, dominance. Of the sister spirits, period. New line, open quote. Share this, new line, among you, period. This is the face, comma, voice and feeling. New line, of my enemy, comma, the one who has stolen from me, comma, and has smeared my family name. New line, you are to find her, comma, and help me take her last breath, period, close quote. New line, the spirits nodded, comma, almost in unison, period. New line, sighs followed new line 2, comma, and I wondered, new line, if this was just the way new line spirits spoke when I wasn't listening to them, new line, as a spiritual new line medium, period. Sora, welcome in, dear. What am I? Just the mistress of guys that are willing to duel for my banjo? What is this? Not that I mind. I don't mind having warriors and, men or women who are willing to help defend my honor. But I could do without the fighting each other, for God's sake. I strive for Sebastian levels, but end up wrong. Hayate, dear, however you end up doing is however you end up doing. Just do. Correct. Correct. Arrival. New line. New line. Correct size. Cap, perhaps I would, new line, hear them differently. New line, when I switched my senses over to theirs. New line. Open quote. I'm sending you into the pipes to find this one. New line. In case anyone dwelling on the surface, new line, has eyes for the spirit world, like I do, this will make sure, new line, that no one sees you and can connect you, a new line, to me before this business is taken care of. Oh wow. Well, Sora, it sounds like you've been busy today. If I do that, I'd call on you to be my personal trainer. Your martial arts skills are impressive. Even butlers need training after all. New line. Period, close quote. I scooted. New line. Over on the porcelain throne. A new line. And gestured into the small pool of water. New line. Open quote. Travel through here, and I will use my senses. New line. To see and hear what you do. Period. Don't overwhelm me. New line. Only give me what you think is important for me to know. Period. New line. I only have one mind. Period, close quote. New line. New line. They nodded. Or at least, new line, changed their floating pattern. And I took that as a new line, yes, period. Open quote. Then go. Close quote, I said. Holding back the open quote. Please, close quote, I had been so used to. New line, saying to spirits I used. Period. Open quote. Find her and help me finish her. Period, close quote. Her. New line. Correct, used. Employed, new line, for. Correct, for. Choose 3. Tasks. New line. New line. They wasted no time. Period. New line. As if they were being pulled. New line. Into the porcelain new line throne. They quickly disappeared into New line the bowl, comma, and then down into the pipes, comma, their ghoulish forms. Correct there, Mom. There. Correct there. Choose to. Making no, new line answering, new line splash. In the pool of water below, period. New line. New line. Just perfect, period. New line. She won't hear them emerging out of the water. New line either, period. She will have no new line idea what is coming for her, comma, until she starts to. New line. Feel her life force. New line drain, period. New line. New line. With my familiars. New line. Beginning to travel through new line the pipes. Comma, I sat myself back down on the seat. New line. Feeling the chilly air they left behind them. Period. New line. I then settled myself in, comma, being sure that the door, new line, was as locked as it was going to be, period. New line. I then reached out a tendril of my new line mind, comma, linking with the more dominant of the sisters, period. New line, the one who still held the thought new line strand. Period. New line. New line. The moment I synced up. New line with her, comma, was the same moment I was flooded. New line with images, comma, sound, and smell, period. New line. It definitely smelled like a sewer. Period. I smelled water, comma, waste. New line. Fermented. Life, comma, decaying. Life. New line. But in this ride along I was doing with my familiars, new line, those smells weren't bad to me, period. New line, although I registered them, new line, as decay and rot, new line, they smelled delicious, comma, new line, pleasant, comma, almost, comma, new line, how one might smell a dying flower, new line, and enjoy the scent of youthfulness, new line, lost, period. New line. New line. Though I did my best to keep myself focused on the main new line sister. Correct, sister. Correct, sister. Correct that. Correct that. Comma, I felt the other familiars fighting. New line to show me what they saw as well, period. New line, I felt them branching outward. Correct outward. Outward. Correct outward. New line. In different directions, new line, trying to cover as much new line ground as possible. New line, as fast as possible, period. New line. I allowed myself to tune in to the other familiars. New line. But only briefly, comma, reminding them. New line, to not get too excitable. New line, and overshare their information with me, period. New line. New line. Even with. My posse of female spirits, moving swiftly, new line, and silently, new line, through pipe after pipe, comma, new line. I began to wonder if I would be able to find that one quickly enough. New line, I did have an entire city apostrophes worth, new line, of sewers to move through, period. New line. New line. But, comma, almost as if, comma, my silent worries were being, new line, addressed, comma, through one of my familiars, comma, I began to see, new line, familiar. Slime hyphen tracks, period, familiar, globs and shiny streaks, new line, of blue, correct, of blue. Of blue, period. New line. Maya, exclamation mark, that's it, period. Correct, Maya. Okay, chat, what do you think? Do we like this? Scratch that. Go to sleep. Chat, do we like this spelling of Maya? Or do we like it with YA? It is. That's typically how I spell it. I'm asking because my software spelled it this way. So, I can either choose to correct the spelling now, or I can leave it as what my software put in. I think we will spell it with the Y for now, but I might keep that alternate spelling for later and see what I think. Correct, Maya? Spell that? M-A-Y-A. My sister! Exclamation mark. New line. Maybe she can help this go by more quickly, comma. New line. And maybe she can help keep my prey, new line, in one spot, period. New line. This thought came to my mind. New line on shivering, comma, fleeting. New line heartbeats. Period. New line. She could get away from me if I didn't bring help. New line in restraining her. Period. New line. Watch that, bitch. Correct ditch. Spell that. B-I-T-C-H. Starts feeling pain at new line. She's going to new line run, comma, and I. Correct, Ron. New line. Will not let her run away. New line. From what she's done. Period. New line. New line. Open quote. Brief change of plans. Comma, close quote. I said to the more dominant spirit, period. New line. Open quote. See those slime markings, question mark. Follow those. Period. My sister. New line must be down here somewhere. Comma, and if we can find her, comma, we will have new line, an added bit of security. Period. Close quote. New line. New line. Without hesitation, comma, the spirits responded, comma, as if. New line. The mere whispers of my soul. New line. Commanded them like a goddess from on high, period. New line. I felt my heart sing under this feeling, new line, while I had done my best to live a life, new line, of quiet, comma, gentle servitude, new line, despite my royal blood, new line. I rose on the notes of this high, new line, allowing myself to enjoy being in command, new line, for once, period. New line. Correct mirror. Choose to. New line. With my familiars. Now tracking my sister, comma, I spoke through them. New line. Making sure to keep my voice familiar, comma, yet wispy. New line, ghostly, comma, so it wouldn't be picked out among the lonely, new line, pipes and stagnant water, period. Open quote, Maya. Correct, Maya. Spell that. Capital M-A-Y-A. comma. New line, my sister, comma, where are you? Question mark, close quote. New line. New line, I continued this soft call through my familiars. Correct call. Call. Comma, new line, enjoying the oddly shivering, comma, lonely sound. New line, my familiars. Apostrophe voices made in the space period. New line, it reminded me of the beginning. New line, of a gripping, new line, ghost story, period. New line. New line. Finally, comma, after what felt like a few long, new line, moments into eternity, comma, I heard a splash. Period. New line, I heard a voice. Next, open quote. Correct next to. Sister, question mark. Close quote at first. New line, the voice was soft, comma, watery, comma. New line, reminding me of a little mermaid. Period. New line, more splashing, comma, and then again, open quote, sister, question mark. Is that, new line, you, question mark.
Need to find
Close
the
quote.
perfect gift? Don't panic. Gift Mode on Etsy is here to take the stress out of gifting and make it easy to find incredible items for anyone and any occasion. Try Gift Mode on Etsy now.
YouTube, I hate you. I got gifted premium and I'm still getting goddess damned ads. YouTube, I hate you. I mean, sure, I think I do have a Spotify account, but it always decides to just be a pain and say, hey, Tiffy, I see that you're trying to log in. No. You know, I could ask the same thing about having a premium Twitter account. Supposedly, that's supposed to verify my account and everything to do with it. But no! Cap, now the voice sounded more excited. New line. And at this comma, I felt a pang of sadness. New line, of guilt. Period. Even though I had set her, open quote, free, close quote. New line, down here before my Cap father. New line, winked the castle out of existence, comma, and into new line. A space in Cap limbo. New line. I knew I hadn't told her. New line. much about where we were going, new line, or why, period. New line. Open quote. Where are you? Question mark. Close quote. New line. New line. Through my main familiar, comma. New line, I spotted her. Period. New line, my sister Maya, comma, forming herself. New line, a body lit. Correct, but that was reminiscent, new line, of my young maiden days. Period. She formed it out of the water. New line, and out of her slime. Comma, but gradually. New line made some of it appear slightly human. New line, slightly alive, comma, though translucent. Period. New line. She looked around, comma, her eyes mirroring. Correct, narrowing. Mirroring. New line. The same curiosity and careless, new line, spark of joy, new line, I had once had, new line, in my own gaze, period. New line. New line. Open quote. I'm right here. Comma, sister. Comma, close quote. I said, comma, new line. Through the main familiar, comma, hoping and trying to, new line, warm my voice up a little more, comma, and sound a little more, new line, familiar to her, period. I had my familiar move in front of her, new line, and instructed it to show itself to her. A little more, period. New line. New line. My sister saw me, comma, in that moment. M dash. My familiar, new line, and gasped. Period. Immediately her face turned down, comma, and her watery eyes, new line, looked confused, comma, heartbroken, period, open quote. Sister, comma. You died? Question mark, exclamation mark. So that one was telling the truth, question mark, close quote. New line. It took my familiar hyphen. Alright, Reaper. See you next time, dear. Please get lots of good rest. filled brain a moment to realize what she'd said, period. New line. New line. Open quote, no, comma, dear. Comma, close quote, I whispered. Period, open quote, I'm not dead. Period, close quote. New line. I laughed, comma, realizing how this would look. New line to her, comma, or to anyone, comma, who heard my voice coming out of a spectral, comma, shrouded new line being. Period. Open quote, these are just my helpers. Period. Close quote. New line. I paused. Period. Open quote. And what did you mean by... Open single quote. That one was new line telling the truth. Question mark. Close single quote. Close quote. New line. We have a hydrate redeem. Thank you, General. I will gladly get some water. Sora, how did I know you were gonna make some sort of comment like that? How did I know? This is true. You know, that's why you gotta keep the royal instrument nice and moist. I know you all hate that word. Moist. I know you are. I can almost hear you in my head. Moist. Oh no, Nexus. Oh dear. That's the worst. You walk in, and the first word you hear is moist. No, I was just teasing Chad. Because they had a hydrate redeem. What have I done? Chat, I'm gonna go back to working on my writing project, which makes more sense than where this conversation is going at this point. New line. Cap Maya. Correct my. Choose 9. Maya. New line. moved closer to me, comma, half, new line, walking, half sliding, comma, studying me, period, new line. Open quote. The one who took over, period, she said. New line. You were no longer with us, period, she said. New line. You'd finally succumb to all of your feelings of inadequacy. New line. And rather than disclose your untimely demise, new line, your father took the castle and everyone else, new line, into another galaxy, period. Close quote. New line. New line. My ears felt numb, comma, even listening through my familiar, period. New line. That makes no sense at all! Exclamation mark. I mean, comma, I know I can be, new line, a little bit depressive from time to time, comma, but new line, enough to usher myself into the spirit world. New line, like some over dramatic princess. New line, in a tragic romance novel, question mark. Please, question mark, exclamation mark. Exclamation mark. New line. New line. Open quote. That one's egregious lies, new line, aside. Comma, close quote, I said, comma. Open quote, I need your help, period. She's about to have a very bad morning, new line, and it will be the last morning she will live to see, period. New line. If she's going to sell the entire kingdom on such, correct, on such shit. Go for it. Go for it, Collie. Tea time. Why not? New line. Then she should breathe her last while she's busy dropping one. Period. Close quote. New line. My sister jiggled. Period. New line. I couldn't tell whether it was from excitement, new line, shock, comma, or something else, period. Correct, shocked. New line. Open quote. since you know these sewers. Newline, as well as my brother knows the forests. Newline, I assume you know which of these pipes leads directly to her. Domain, question mark, specifically Newline, the toilet she uses most often, question mark. Newline, I want to disrupt her morning ritual. Period, close quote. Newline. If she even has one, period. I felt my familiars roll their eyes in response, Newline, to my desire to roll my own, even though, Newline, I was technically incapacitated, period. Newline. That woman has a stick shoved so far up her ass, I doubt she, Newline, has anything like a regular movement, period. Correct movements. Newline, except if it's a political coup, period. Newline, apparently, period. Newline. Cap Maya brought my attention back to her. I mean, it's possible. Although that would be giving her way too much credit. Period. Sister, Newline. Open quote. I can certainly help, close quote, she said, period. Open quote. That one's piping is easy to find, period. Newline, out of everyone in the city, Newline, she eats the best out of everyone, and Newline, down here that is fairly easy to distinguish, period. Newline, I have gotten fairly thorough in my analysis, close quote, she added, Newline, and I wasn't sure at this moment whether to be, Newline, disgusted or impressed, period. I wonder if a fire genasi would even have stuff to crap, or would it just burn to ash in her colon? I mean, do we wanna make that a detail here that that's a thing? I mean, you bring up a good point. Technically, that would mean that a volcano exploding is just a massive shit. Technically. So, okay. Open quote. It's not the same solid as Newline Tieflings, period. It's ash. But specifically with her, it's a pure, pale ash, period. while it can be a little, new line, difficult to distinguish it once it hits water, comma, new line, there is a distinct, new line, smell, comma, she eats better than the rest, comma, so there are more, new line, minerals and other residues that the commoners simply don't expel. Period, close quote. New line. New line again, comma, I wasn't sure whether to be exceedingly disgusted or impressed, new line, by my sister, apostrophe S, analytical, and frankly, new line, blasé account of all of her findings. Period. New line, but should I be surprised? Question mark. Technically, comma, she was. New line, my biological sister, comma, though much had happened, new line, from when she was born, comma, to when she was released. New line, from her scientific and watery womb. Correct, will. In my father, apostrophe S, secret lab, period. New line. Well, I mean, technically she would be, as a slime, as a part slime being, technically she would have ways of, like, understanding people on that level, you know what I mean? So, you know, and she has to be kind of a nerd also to explain where I got it from. Find slime dining in the sewers. Well, specifically if it's real shit, you know, that's a good time, apparently. New line. Okay, scratch that. Open quote. I'm happy to know how much you've learned since being set New Line free from the confines of the New Line laboratory, comma. And I won't question your methods, comma, but I do need you, New Line, to help me track her down, comma, and quickly, period. New Line, I would like to get her dealt with and flushed, New Line, before too much more time passes, period. New Line. So, lead me and the rest of my entourage, New Line, to her royal throne, New Line, before she decides to be everyone's problem, New Line, again today, period, close quote. New Line. New Line. Maya, give, correct, gave me a silly grin and salute, New Line, with a slimy hand, comma, before melding back with the water, comma, and moving quickly along the pipes, period. New Line. Open quote. Her particular pipe system is easy to find, period. New line. Even though no one would see it from this angle, comma, new line, that one did want some extra fancy. New line. Bolts and screws on the pipes leading to her. New line. Plumbing network, period. She also has, new line, a very distinct diet, period. New line. Very habitual, comma. Although she has been lacking in her fiber, new line, recently, period. Not that I care, comma, new line, but that might be part of her crappy attitude, period, close quote. New line. New line. I held back laughter at this, comma, but had her lead the way, period. New line. I was glad to have her on my side, period. New line. As it turned out, comma, I would have needed her anyway, period. New line. The plumbing system we ended up traveling through was a few, new line, dizzying turns and twists away from the main sewer lines. New line, where all the commoner waste was dealt with, period. New line, my goddess, period. New line, to have such an ego, comma, that you even cared, new line, to keep your shit separate from the rest. New line, as if anyone was going to care. New line, whether you had 5-star, new line, bodily waste or not, was beyond me, period. New line, but I guess when you're so desperate to, new line, convince everyone that you're, new line, correct, you're, choose 3. So much better than everyone else, comma, new line, you'll do just about anything to separate yourself from the masses, comma, even in the sewers, period. New line. New line. Them. Kept with my sister to guide me. Comma, and new line, her chatter about her particular diets, comma, and what she, new line, was literally able to draw on for nutrients, new line, thanks to these royal pipes, comma. We eventually found our way to New line, our destination, period. I sensed the change in the air and the water around us, period. It was cleaner. New line, slightly perfumed, but there will still, scratch that, there were still regular signs. New line of use, period. New line, open quote. She usually completes her morning ritual around this time, give or take a few minutes, close quote, whispered my sister, period. New line, open quote. Unless she's having a really irregular day. We should be right on time, period, close quote. New line, she moved forward ahead of the lead familiar, period. New line, open quote. I'll go first, period. If she's there, I'll make sure I can wrap myself around her so she can't get away, period. New line, then, the moment I do, you go in for your first strike, period. New line. Sound good? Question mark, close quote. She turned around. Gazing at me through the eyes of my familiar, period. New line. I saw the correct art. Odd, greenish blue spark. That was her life force, period. The green around it, new line, showed that she had once been brought back to life. New line, the blue, showed that she still had the will to live. New line, and that she was powered by the fluidity of slime, period. I'm sure Melody would love to draw that. I'm sure she would have a field day. I would love to have like a little Maya slime that I could just sit on my head and she would just sit there and jiggle the whole time. With like little wingies, a little slime tail, just stick her on my head like a little flan or something. She just sits there like, I think that'd be cute. I don't know. I think it'd be adorable. I'm sure I'd have a lot of people being like, what is that slimy tiefling on your head? And I'll just say, that's my slime sister, Maya. Probably something lewd, right? Well, you know what? She has to keep my skin nice and hydrated. Okay, Runia, sleep well. Take care. Make sure to put all of your magical wards up so you don't have any unexpected visitors tonight. line. New line. New line. I gave what I hoped was a nod of agreement. Period. New line. Open quote. You rescued me from that tank. Period. You saved me from a life of being. New line. Just another one of Cab Father apostrophe S achievements, comma. New line. Or being a prisoner, comma, outsider or misfit. Period. New line. You took a risk no one else was willing to. New line. And if no one else is going to help you, get back. New line. What is rightfully yours, comma, I will. Period. Close quote. She grinned. New line. But afterwards, comma, you have to promise. Open quote. You'll come back for good. New line. And that you won't leave without telling me. Exclamation mark. Close quote. I heard the pout. New line in her voice before. New line, I saw it, period. New line. New line. Open quote, I promise. Close quote. Scratch that. Comma, close quote. I whispered, comma, thinking. New line about Cab Owen, period. Cab Maya wasn't going to be the only New Line sibling. More than a little upset, New Line with me and the rest of the family for leaving them, New Line out of the loop, period. Correct, Maya. New line. New line. Just then, comma, I heard the sound of a door opening above the film of water, period. New line. Maya jiggled in anticipation, comma, slowly moving herself. New line toward the water line, separating the sewer / toilet water from air, period. New line. She reminded me briefly, New line, of a famous mermaid I'd read about. New line, who dreamed of being up on land. Period. Open quote, that's her. Comma, close quote, she whispered, period. New line. Open quote. I'll wait till she sits down, comma, relaxes, comma, and then I'll go in for the grab. Period, close quote. New line. I saw her. New line crawl closer, comma, forming and readying arms out of her New line slime body, comma. New line, and for a small instant, comma, I saw the same look of determination. New line, and joyful, comma, reckless. New line, abandon I had worn only a few times. New line. In my life, before. New line. I was told to. New line, get serious. New line, and grow up. Period. Correct, and they don't go. And then I'll go. New line. New line. I waited with my sister, listening to every sound, New line, the shuffle of feet, New line, the tired, groggy voice, New line, the fluttering of fabric, New line, and then the soft hush. Correct touch of skin against porcelain, period. New line, the light in the water disappeared, New line, replaced with a dark hyphen moon silhouette. New line. The usurper had landed. New line, in her sacred spot for her morning ritual, and we were there. New line, soundless and voiceless. New line, spying on her in the one place she didn't think to have defenses, period. New line. New line. Cap Maya waited a few seconds. New line, waited for the sigh of calm and relief. New line, we all made when settling in for the morning ritual. New line. And I used those seconds to creep myself closer. Period. New line, for a better look. Period. From this angle, New line. My enemy looked like a flowery, round lava lamp, period. New line. She had features that always gave off a soft, new line, molten glow, and for a moment, I thought, new line, what a pity it would be to watch the light go out entirely, new line, even in this part of her body, and then I remembered, new line, poetic imagery was not stronger than, new line, poetic justice, period, new line. And I have been brought tea. Thank you, dear. The tea, Tiefus, yes. I put the tea in tiefling. Okay, this is gonna be hot. We're gonna have to let that cool down. Like her tea, she's also hot shit. Thank you. I'm glad I have people who recognize that I do have some good qualities. Alright, let me adjust. Piano's getting too freaking boisterous. It happened in a flash of movement, comma, new line, a blur of splashing, comma. New line, flickering color, comma, though the water initially made no sound. Comma, new line, I saw Maya apostrophe's hands and arms stretch out. New line, and latch around. The Janasi apostrophe S, unexpecting hips. Correct, unexpecting. Hyphen expecting. Correct, on. Choose to. Period. New line. To watch her fingers collapse and wash around. The unexpecting. Scratch that. Form. Seated. New line. On the porcelain throne. New line was. Almost. Scratch that. Almost too much for my familiar apostrophe as gaze to register, period. New line. New line, but what was unmistakable, comma, was the sound of surprise. New line. But that too, comma, was silenced before it could be more than a few seconds. New line of surprise and terror, comma, since my sister clamped another appendage around her mouth, period. New line, I didn't see it, comma, so much as heard the sound stop, period. New line. Open quote, you're up. Correct, you are up. Comma, close quote, she said. Comma, her voice being carried almost. Correct, carried along the waters. Period. New line. I wasted not a single second. Period. I directed my main familiar, comma, and then the other. New line sisters to converge on the glowing, comma, new line vulnerable spot on my enemy, comma, and draw out her life force. New line with a single, comma, forceful, comma, touch, period. New line. The effect of the touch was almost instantaneous, comma, and I felt, new line, both her energy waning, correct, waning, comma, the light and feeling of life withering, new line, correct, withering, new line, like a candle in an invisible wind, comma, and my own life being bolstered, period, new line, my own fire and heart beginning to beat faster. Yes, I did, but I didn't think to do that since already Whimsy had been disconnected from me, remember? She's basically not connected with me at all at this point because Shadowfell. But yeah, I can add in that, like, detail later. Whimsy's not dead. She's sleeping with Danny Collie. She's not dead. She did. She's been promoted to baby. The best baby ever. Yes, exactly. Good Danny material. That's what he's having to learn. It's like his tester child. If he can do well with Whimsy, then you know. As I finished giving this command, comma, I felt something, new line, unravel from around me, comma, and ravel tightly around Cap Collie instead, period. New line. It was whimsy apostrophe S. New line, bright colored new line thread. Period. She bonded herself with him instead of me. New line. And I allowed it. Period. New line. She hadn't liked my time in shadow, no space fell, comma, and new line, although she was asleep, comma. I could feel her trying to avoid, new line, the feeling of the spirits I had. A new line around me, period. New line. New line. I wasn't sad or jealous, period. New line. Sometimes the gifts we get, new line, don't stay with us, comma, but, new line, get given to other people who need them more, new line, or who need the lesson and the practice, new line, more than we, new line, do, period. Intruding on these thoughts, comma, I thought I heard them. New line. Call me, open quote, mistress, close quote. Though I could barely make it out in the heavy, comma, atmosphere. That was, new line, everything. Cap material, cap plane, period. New line. Open quote. Cap, you have your orders. Very close quote. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and I think this is like the better idea because it's kind of why I want to be like a streamer mom, you know, because I have good advice and I am a very caring person. I feel like I am. You know, there are probably people out there who would disagree with that, but at least this way we get to roleplay having a little family without the mess and the noise and the stress and all the things, because I would not want to raise a kid in this environment. I really would not. There are just so many things that are so unsettled. It's just better to not have to deal. If you can handle this, I'll give you the big K, aka kids. Kids! Anyways. I felt part of my mind go dark and listless. New line. Like I was drowning in twisted, shadowy pleasure. Newland. Correct thought. New line, and this time, I didn't fight it, period. I allowed myself to enjoy every second, new line, of ordering my familiars to touch her with, new line, all the pain and suffering and anger I had for her, period. New line. New line, of course, after the first touch, the Genasi woman was trying desperately to get away, new line, from whatever was attacking her, but, new line, Cap Maya would not let her escape, period. She was like watery glue. Correct, watery. New line. Like watching a silent inferno, within the next half second or two, I saw light and fire, new line, swirl into part of the toilet bowl, as my target tried to light herself on fire, new line, to free herself from my sister apostrophe Glad. Correct, Glad. Apostrophe S, grasp. Pretty much, yeah. New line. New line. Cap, though the fire growled violently onto her body, trying to break free, new line, of the viscous, new line, jelly grasp of my new line sister. Cap Maya maintained her hold, period. New line, I smelled part of her slime body burning, new line, under the heat and flame, but she didn't let go, period. New line, she didn't scream, even though I felt her desire to, period. New line, I don't know how to describe it. New line, knowing there is pain, even when, new line, it's not spoken, period. General, don't worry about it. If you need to go to bed, don't worry. You can go ahead and get some rest. I might be going at least another hour to just try to wrap this part up. But please, please, please do not feel like you need to stay up. Sora, that goes for you too. You don't need to stay up for me. If you need to sleep, damn it, go to sleep. Sleep is for the dead. You know what? Don't make me put you to bed. I will put you to bed and restrain you there. Don't make me do it, chat. Don't make me do it. Oh, I have ways. I can restrain you. I have some nice soft cuffs I've been meaning to try out. I mean, I'm not gonna say that I'm like acting heavenly right now. I'm not even gonna pretend that this arc in my story is anything but straight up villainy. However, as far as I'm concerned, this is one dark arc. This is one sort of dark moment that in this scenario, I'm basically giving myself the permission to vent out on my enemy. Restrain this. You know, you might try a pants grab, but I don't think you're prepared. And also, I'm not wearing pants. I'm wearing a skirt. So, your pants grab does nothing unless you're doing it on yourself. In which case, I hope you enjoyed that. New line. New line. I was not prepared for what happened inside my emotional New Line body next period. Maybe it was how much pain I knew she was in, New Line. Maybe it was because I knew she was trying to, New Line, pay me back for the kindness I had done her, but New Line, I felt an older sister apostrophe S wrath in that moment, New Line, watching my sister take damage from me, and take it willingly, New Line, in my fight against this bitch, period. New Line, while she had her restrained a bit longer, New Line, and before she could decide to unleash another inferno, New Line, I went in for another attack, period. New Line, I lashed out on her living body, now glued to the toilet seat, New Line, as if I was the Reaper apostrophe S wife, New Line, coming to collect her vile soul for my own battery, New Line, my own eternal victory, correct, internal, eternal, period. New Line, I channeled as much of my magic as I thought was safe, New Line, thinking about all the times, New Line, she had spoken with malice and cruelty, New Line, to me, New line, about me. New line, to my mother, comma, new line, to anyone who supported me. Period. New line. New line. If you're going to try to take my crown in secret, new line, like the sniveling little weasel you are. New line, you don't deserve to die. New line, in daylight where everyone can see you, comma, you deserve to draw your last. New line, miserable breath. New line, where no one can see and no one can hear, period. New line. New line. I felt the wrath of my shadow moving through me in that moment, comma, and I understood, new line, why she was the one to protect me, period, without this darkness. New line. I would not survive people continually trying to snuff out, new line, my little spark. Period. New line. My mother had spent much of her life trying to sustain, new line, the ember she saw in me. M dash. She often said she would have picked that as a middle name. M dash. New line, but chose, open quote, Hell's flower, close quote. Correct, house flower. Hell apostrophe S flower. Correct, hello. Hell apostrophe S. Instead, period. New line. And now I was going to make sure, comma, new line, in her honor, comma, and in the name of bright no space luck, I would take out this so-called Queen of Fire, new line, with the very light and magic she doubted, new line, would ever defeat her, period. New line. Correct, whatever. New line. In those seconds, comma, there was a blitz of motion and, new line, necrotic energy, period. I lost my senses completely. New line. Living only to see her brightness and her life force diminish. Period. New line. It moved and shivered now, comma, an intoxicating sight. Correct sight. New line. To my familiar apostrophe as gaze, comma, who was already sucking, new line, on some of her energy, comma, like an infernal lollipop, period. New line. New line. Again, comma, the bitch tried to free herself. Period. Again, comma, she tried to fuel herself with more fire, comma, more, new line, molten magic, comma, but even as it oozed over my sister's body, comma, trying desperately, New Line, to crack her grasp, comma, Cap Maya wouldn't budge. New Line, she wouldn't release her, comma, even as I watched. New Line, some part of her slime body become discolored and stringy. New Line, under the heat, comma, like melting. New Line, corrupted wax, period. New Line, I could smell Cap Maya burning. For my sake, period. New Line, I knew, comma, as I watched her soul fire. New Line flicker in the center of her body, comma, that I wouldn't have. Correct flicker. New Line survived such a assault, period. New Line, even with my infernal heritage. New Line, she would have burned me to death. New Line, with as much hellfire she was trying to send to my sister, period. New Line, I heard her trying to scream, comma, trying to cast New Line magic, comma, but the moment she tried to do or say more, comma, my sister, New Line, just dripped more of herself down the woman Apostrophe's throat, comma, choking out any New Line possibility that she could speak, comma, and even if she could, New Line, work magic by thought, comma. New Line, how well could she focus? Choking on sentient, comma. Correct sentient. Sentient. Correct sentiment. Living, comma, intelligent. New Line, ooze. Correct ooze. I could tell Cap Maya was losing her grasp. Correct cell. Tell. New Line, slowly. Period. She would hold on, comma, but not forever, period. New Line. If that woman lit herself up again, comma, New Line, Cap Maya would have to let go. New Line. And then she might escape, period. New Line. I wasn't about to, New Line, let that happen, period. New Line. New Line. Cap channeling the rest of the energy I had available to me. New Line, and borrowing against the Book of Favors, New Line, I had in my goddess Apostrophe's name, comma, I went in for the attack again, comma, intending, New Line, now to not only wound her, comma, but to steal the rest of her life. New Line, as payment for what she'd done to me, period. New Line. New Line, I let all of my familiars lay a hand on her, comma, the main one reaching so far into her spiritual body, comma, she actually, new line, touched her soul. Correct, your soul. Her soul, comma, before, new line, lashing out a wave of necrotic damage on her, period. New line. And oh, comma, that sound, period. New line. The sound her soul made when it died, question mark. New line. It was like the string on a violin snapping, period. New line. It was sorrowful and harsh, comma, and her body, new line, seemed to fall with it, comma, almost, new line, as if her physical form had been nothing but, new line, muddy, comma, animated ash, period. New line, as if my spirits burned hotter than she ever could, comma, her glowing, comma, liquid centers, new line, practically exploded into gray, comma, green dust, period. New line. If there were bones or tissue being siphoned of their life force, new line, it happened so quickly that, new line, not even my eyes, new line, could see where she went, period. New line. Her body withered, comma, parts of it looking like they would just drop into, new line, the toilet, period. New line. New line. Her soul fire vanished, comma, leaving tracers behind, period. New line. As it did so, comma, I felt my own body, comma, new line, still sitting on a porcelain throne of its own, comma, new line, become more enlivened, comma, plump and juicy with life force, period. New line. My magic filled back up, comma, as if I had never spent a single drop, period. New line. My body, comma, the ghost of it I could feel left behind, comma, felt, new line, rejuvenated, comma, even though it was nothing more than, new line, a whisper of life to me at the moment, period. New line. New line. Maya and I took a moment to realize it was over, period. New line. Silence sat between us, comma, and only when Maya released herself from around the woman, comma, did I see the extent, new line, of the pain she had endured. comma, new line, and the fact that, comma, yes, comma, my villain, M dash, my enemy, correct feeling. M dash was dead, period. New line. Open quote, I don't have anything I can do to heal you. Comma, close quote, I told her. Period, I felt regret. New line, shame. Period. New line, if I was going to recruit her. Comma, new line, I owed her something in return, period. New line. New line, Maya gave me a tired, comma, singed grin, period, open quote. It's alright, comma, sis. Mama loves it, period, close quote. Subscribe. Mwah. Thank you, Alexis. Welcome in. As you can probably see, we are in our third day of protesting the ridiculous shadow ban that I have on my Twitter account by streaming from Shadowfell, which is where I have been banned to. How are you doing? Thank you. Thank you for the compliments. I don't know how long you've been lurking, but welcome in. Thank you for posting so I know you're here. Let's go ahead and save that for a minute. I understand totally. I understand it is late. So please don't feel like you need to stay awake. Yay! Holly's getting friends! Excellent. I'm gonna take a hydration break real quick. The royal instrument has been re-moistened. Okay, I think we are almost gonna be to the section where I'm going to stop soon, probably only a couple more minutes actually. And then that is where we will probably also end the stream as well, just because I do have to get to some schoolwork before I run out of spell slots. For, you know, for the night at least. New line, she stuck out her tongue, comma, showing me the drool she had forming around her mouth. New line, I don't scratch that. New line. New line. Period, open quote. Oh no, that's terrible. Well, you know what? It's just one of those things that happens. I am having that same problem with my Kick account. It says I have two-factor authentication enabled, and I'm just like, son of a bitch. I sent the code, but then it's like, no, you don't have the right magic item. And I'm like, The hell you mean? I don't need regular healing, period, potions. New line, sit in my stomach like lead. Period. All I need to do is have a good meal, comma, new line, and I should be right as rain. Period, close quote. New line. New line, open quote. Then feast on her, period. It will handle 2 problems in one action. Period, close quote. New line. Part of me feared the coldness in my voice, comma, the other, new line, was simply glad to be rid of a problem. Period. New line. Yes, it has, Alexis, and I also use a very, very special brand of speech-to-text Arcana. So this version is definitely advanced for what it can do. I do wish it had a little better functionality, but I am grateful to have it nonetheless. Without it, I would not be able to live life as I know it. So I am grateful. Cap Maya moved forward, comma, not wasting any time. New line, on beginning to consume. My rival, comma, literally asked first. Correct, asked. Spell that. ASS. Correct, arrival. Period. New line. New line. I watched a moment or two, comma, before, new line, deciding I would let her consume in private, period, new line, but not before giving her another action item, period, new line, another side quest, period, new line, open quote, enjoy your meal, comma, sister, period, you certainly have earned, new line, a hero, apostrophe s feast, period, but I will need you to embody that one, new line, for a few days, comma, and continue to take out. Dine out on the various people in this castle. New line. So that we can clean house. Period. Next is that one's husband, comma, who probably is, new line, looking forward to getting laid this morning. Correct, late. Period. Close quote. New line. I heard the sounds of Cap Maya and her slime beginning to digest. New line. The form of my BBEG. Period. New line. New line. Again, I wasn't sure if I felt horrified or impressed. Period. New line, my sister sounded so normal. During this process, you'd think she was eating. New line. A side of lamb and green beans. Not a Genasi fire priestess. Period. New line. Open quote, sure thing, close quote, sis. She said through a mouthful of something, open parenthesis. I didn't bother to look, close parenthesis. Period. New line, open quote. That guy apostrophe is gonna be next on my list. Since I have other desires that need satiating. Period, close quote. New line. Around these words, I heard her continuing to gorge. Period. Open quote. And I'm sure he won't think anything of it. New line, since she probably doesn't bother with his needs more than once a month, New line, if that, period. I often hear him in here handling his own business. Anyway, period, close quote. New line. Open quote, good, period. Maybe then he won't pay attention to the little details that might give you away. Correct, away. Period. Close quote. New line. Cab Maya continued to eat, period. Already, at least a third to a half of my problem was gone, period. Devoured from the bottom up, period. New line, open quote. You don't have a lot of time, though. Close quote, I mentioned, beginning to pull my familiars the opposite way out of the plumbing, period, open quote. We don't want new line him coming in to check on her, period. We want to ambush new line him the same way we ambushed her, just in the sheets, period. New line, enjoy yourself, but use her memories. Period. New line, don't do anything too flashy, and nothing too stoic, period. Close quote. New line, Cab Maya formed a couple of thumbs up out of her slime, that was already beginning to heal, period. No, this priestess is fine as fuck. She's also a bitch. She's hot, literally. Open quote, I'll get on that when I'm done digesting this. Period. Or at least eating it. Period. Digestion may take a while. New line. for a bitch this big and thick, period. Close quote. New line. New line. Open quote. You do you. Comma, close quote. I said. Comma, beginning to pull myself even further out of the direct pipe system, comma, and back the way we had traveled, period. New line. Open quote. I'll leave this main familiar here to watch you, comma, close quote. I added, comma, doing just that, period. While the lead spirit, new line, initially wanted to follow me. New line, she seemed happy to have a job to do. Oh yeah, no, she's eating her currently. Yeah, she pretty much did. She ate out that ass. Literally. That wasn't siphoning the life, new line, from a high sorceress like a lollipop, period. New line. New line. With that, comma, I made my own way back through the sewers. New line, using my familiars to help find the way back. Orient me properly, comma, and find the way back. Correct orients. New line. We'll have to see whether that one does or doesn't. Basically, that's kind of the plan we have going on. Period. New line. New line. By the time I folded myself back into my actual body, new line, I felt like I had been out of commission for a century, period. For a century, period. New line, my whole body felt stiff and frozen, comma, like, new line, I had literally, new line, like I had literally, scratch that, I had been in a death, new line, pose, comma, and just got reanimated, period. I was still on my porcelain throne in the rogue apostrophe s, new line, guild, comma, in the room Cap Collie and I shared, period. 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 New line. New line. New line. I sat up, comma, feeling shaky, but satisfied. New line, but satisfied. Period. Period. Everything felt numb and uncoordinated. New line. Period. New line. New line. My eyes were unfocused, comma, my limbs were heavy and tingly, comma, and my mouth felt as dry. New line as a corpse, period. Everything felt like it creaked when it moved, period. New line, and my ears felt like they were stuffed with cotton, period. Yes, what is your question? You actually have to go and correct that. So if I were to say, oh, something happened during a period of time and it misconstrued that based on context, then I would have to go in and I would actually have to say, no, choose this option instead. New line. New line. It took me a moment to realize there was a voice. New line calling at me from the other side of the door. Period. New line. It took me even longer to realize it was new line Cap Collie. Period. New line. Open quote, babe. Comma, close quote, he said. Comma, sounding like new line, the tired, soft boy. I knew he was, comma, new line, despite his moodiness since coming back here. New line, open quote. You all right in there? Question mark. I hate to disrupt your morning ritual, comma, if that's new line what you're still doing, comma. But I really gotta go. Period, close quote. New line. New line. I'm fine. Scratch that. Open quote. I'm okay, period. Just feeling a little shy. In this new place still, comma, but new line, I'm done, period, close quote. I took a bit of extra time to actually take care, new line, of some additional business, comma, since I had no idea how long my body had been, open quote, offline, close quote, for, period. A new line, I ushered the other spirits into an amulet Cap Whimsy had retrieved from the hollowed out Cap Goddess Cap Temple. Correct, gods. Goddess. New line. Promising them a reward once I was actually, new line, able to lie down, period. Oh, I am, dear. Don't worry. We're almost done for the night. I'm almost to the checkpoint that I want. New line. New line. After lightening a bit more of my load, I New line. Used my extra mage hands to lift myself from my New line seat, rearrange my garments, and make the slow, awkward shuffle. New line back toward the door, where I dismissed the bit of magic I had put up. New line to ensure privacy. Open parenthesis, more safety than anything, close parenthesis. And unlocked. New line, the physical lock, period. New line. New line, Cab Collie. Stood on the under end. Correct and. Choose 4. End, correct that. Spell that E-N-D. Correct under. Blinking at me through tired eyes, period. New line, whimsy. Was half asleep. New line, atop his head. Period. Open quote. I thought I felt you get in bed with me, and then New line, you were gone. Period. Close quote. New line. I moved out of the doorway, giving him a small kiss on his cheek, period. New line. Open quote. I was, but then I needed to take care of some extra business, period. New line, it took longer than I thought, period, close quote. I grabbed his hand with one of mine, leading him back. New line, to the bed, period. Open quote. Sorry for worrying you, darling, period, close quote. There is. Which also happens more frequently when my voice starts getting tired, which is the one drawback to speech recognition over typing, is that eventually my voice is going to wear out. But thank you for catching that, dear. Of course, this will need edits, obviously. It always does. So it's going to have to be edited before we have like a final version. But yeah, we're almost to the checkpoint. And I already know who we're going to raid. We're going to raid Rezi. She is a good friend of mine, and I believe she is currently having a birthday celebration. Or did have a birthday celebration recently. She is another VTuber within the disabled and chronic conditions community, and she is a really good friend of mine, and I admire her and adore her. So we will go pay her some late night vibes after this. I hope she doesn't stop her stream before then. Otherwise, I'm gonna be sad. Open quote, I'm just glad you're safe, comma, honey, period, close quote. New line. When I woke up and you weren't there, comma, New line. Was really worried, period, I thought. New line, maybe someone came and New line stole you away from me. Period. But then Cap Whimsy. New line said she could sense you in the bathroom, comma, so. New line. I was able to relax a little, period. Close quote. New line. Worry was something I didn't see on his face. New line often, period. New line. New line. As we made our way to the bed, New line, and laid down for a little bit of pre-dawn cuddling. Scratch that. Early morning hyphen. Scratch that. Early hyphen morning cuddling. New line. I wondered what kind of emotions my kids, New line, would get to see on his face. Correct, we choose to. Period. New line. I'm fighting for a future. New line, where they get to see more love. New line. Then worry. Correct, then. Choose 5. Period. New line. New line. Images of the children I would have with him. New line. Played across my mind as I drifted into a wakeful. New line. Heightened meditation, comma, part of my mind still connected. New line to the familiar. New line I had left behind. Period. New line. New line. Part Roman numeral 3, colon. Cap Castle. Cap right, no space lock. Correct right. Correct right lock. Cap right lock. All right, and with that, we are complete. Scratch that. Scratch that. Go to sleep. All right, my dears, my pets, we have made it to the end of our little writing session for tonight. It ended up that we didn't get to any other games or anything, but that's fine. I think it was fun to do writing and do that most of the stream. And now it is time for us to go raid my good friend Rezi before she decides to log off for the night. I hope you all enjoyed story time. And I hope you all had a nice, relaxing evening. I know I did. And now I gotta go recoup some slots with a short rest and a snack, and then I've got some schoolwork to do. For a raid message, Kali, I will let you decide what our raid message is. For the night, my brain is not functioning after all that writing, so I will let you decide, and I will see you all hopefully tomorrow for another stream. But again, it will have to be after homework and other stuff, because I am a busy woman even in Shadowfell. Good night, all. Sleep well. Don't let the zombies bite.